Al Henshaw here again, doing more of my current events YouTube videos, and thought I was done for the day too. And I just read this on the internet with Rand Paul and Sack Tomato Kamala Harris differing on the federal lynching bill that attempted to be passed in Congress. And this emphasizes the whole point of the issue. Because if you're listening out there, Shamala, and other people that just love the 14th War Amendment, what you're doing here is trying to enact a law pursuant to an amendment which does not exist. Even worse, if it did, the only jurisdiction you have under Section 5 of that amendment is federal, regional, martial law rule. That's what's led to a lot of the trouble we've had recently with this COVID crap being declared under martial law, with the murder of George Floyd up there in Minneapolis and other things going on. And that's what needs to stop. To get the damn 14th Amendment out of the way, and those of you who get my materials, send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com. I have a 26-page unopposed brief on the 14th Amendment that proves that its ratification with a capital R-A-T violated all 6 articles of the Constitution. It's what I call a gargantuan, gruesome, grisly grand slam of violations. It's never existed. Now, my question to the 9 old farts, John Roberts, if you're listening, is why the hell hasn't the court ruled on that in 150 years? Before I get through, I hope I can force you to do it, because there's only one way you can rule on it, and that solves a lot of problems. Puts the nation and republic back in business, restores the states, gives us limited government. That's what it's all about. Not perfect government. I get that, it never was, but limited, and the best government ever devised by man in the history of the world. Look what happened in 125 years. We went from virtually nothing to the most powerful nation on the face of the earth. What does that tell you? In an era when man's lives, life, liberty, and property were considered rights in and of themselves and important, not a means to a government corporate end, like all these damn wars have been since at least the Spanish-American War. It's time we stop doing this crap. I'll be talking more about that on later videos. But that said, if you're advocating those things, Shamala, AOC, Pansy Lenosi, and who the hell else knows otherwise, amendment doesn't exist. And what you're doing, in effect, is actively and aiding and abetting those whose agenda is the overthrow of the Constitution and lawful government of the United States, most of whom are based at 120 Broadway, New York, New York. Where I come from, that's an act of treason. The Supreme Court of the United States has identified it as such. If you get out there, Shamala, and read the case of Cohen, C-O-H-E-N-S v. Virginia, 19 U.S. 264, pages 403 and 404, and you'll see aiding and abetting courts without jurisdiction is treason, and prohibiting courts from exercising jurisdiction they have is treason. And that, by the way, is a big deal for you law enforcement thugs out there who haven't been trained by the governor and or the president, as the case may be. But we get into court, if we get you prosecuted for treason, my research hasn't disclosed there's any such thing as a good faith act of treason. So just a thought. That said, I'll have more to say on this issue as things develop. We can hope Congress won't pass it, but if it does, I'm going to put an amicus brief into the 9 old parts. We'll get rid of it. Sounds great on the outside, tastes terrible on the inside. This is what they do all the time to get more federal martial law power. That said, send me an email at youwinincourt@gmail.com. Like the video, subscribe, tell your friends, get the word out. We can stop these bastards, most of whom don't have an idea what the hell it is they're doing. But I think they can. If we have our Constitution and trial by jury, we can stop them. Thank you.